Welcome back to another battle, this time between Phoenix Force and Franklin Richards. Even in their basic forms, neither of these entities can be defined by ordinary physical parameters. They are not warriors who use brute strength to determine victory or defeat. They are concepts, laws, and architects of reality itself. Phoenix Force is the flame that burns and nurtures all things, the heartbeat of the universe, while Franklin Richards is a child who carries the power of a creator god within him, one who can redraw the map of the multiverse with a single thought. To understand who would be the last one standing, we need to delve deeper into their origins, the nature of their powers, their psychology, and the legendary feats that have shaped the status of each entity. In short, let's begin. Phoenix Force is not simply a character or an entity with a specific physical form. It is an abstract concept, a primordial force that existed even before the current universe was formed. Phoenix Force was born from the nexus of all realities, specifically from the White Hot Room, the center of the multiverse, where all realities are born and return when they come to an end. It is the embodiment of passion, infinite emotion, and the driving force behind the evolution of all things. Phoenix Force represents the balance between creation and destruction, the flame that burns away what is old to make way for new life to emerge. It is neither good nor evil. It possesses only instinct and eternal existence. When Phoenix Force bonds with a host, it often reflects that person's emotions and psychology, but in its purest state, it is a vast cosmic entity on par with eternity, death, infinity, and oblivion. The power of Phoenix Force is infinite and encompasses every aspect of existence. At its most basic level, it is the greatest source of cosmic psychic energy ever known. This energy is not merely fire or heat, but the energy of life itself. Phoenix Force can manipulate matter and energy at the subatomic level. It can transform a dying star into a cradle of life, or turn a brilliant galaxy into ashes in the blink of an eye. Phoenix's ability to teleport transcends all spatial barrier, allowing it to move between dimensions, parallel realities, and even through time. Phoenix Force can read the minds of every living being in the multiverse simultaneously, control the minds of billions upon billions of individuals, and create illusions so convincing that an entire civilization could believe in things that do not exist. One of the most terrifying and magnificent abilities of Phoenix Force is its dominion over life and death. It can resurrect the dead, reconstruct bodies that have been completely destroyed, and even pull souls back from the dimensions of death. Phoenix Force is the keeper of the key to the cycle of rebirth. When a universe collapses, Phoenix Force is the entity that gathers the remaining energy and plants the seeds of a new universe. It is immune to most forms of physical and energy attacks because it does not possess a fixed physical body that can be damaged. If its host body is destroyed, Phoenix Force simply departs and seeks a new host, or returns to the White Hot Room to rest. However, the power of Phoenix Force is often displayed most vividly when it bonds with a host, the most famous being Jean Grey. When Jean Grey becomes Phoenix, she does not merely possess the power of a cosmic entity. She also carries with her the intelligence, emotions, and will of a human being. This combination creates moments of extraordinary glory, but also profound tragedy. Phoenix Force can create force fields capable of enveloping an entire planet, unleash energy blasts with destructive power comparable to the explosion of the Big Bang, and manipulate time to reverse events that have already occurred. In the form of White Phoenix of the Crown, Jean Grey achieves complete enlightenment, becoming one with Phoenix Force and possessing absolute power within the White Hot Room, where she can rewrite the history of the multiverse and judge the fate of abstract entities. Phoenix Force's battles against formidable enemies. During the Dark Phoenix saga, when Jean Grey was corrupted by negative emotions and became Dark Phoenix, the entity demonstrated terrifying, destructive power. Dark Phoenix faced the entire X-Men team, the Imperial Guard of the Shi'ar Empire, and even the space fleet of an entire galaxy. With a single wave of her hand, Dark Phoenix incinerated a solar system, wiped out billions of lives, and even challenged Queen Lilandra. This battle was not merely a clash of power, but a tragedy of loss and sacrifice, as Jean Grey was forced to choose death to prevent the destruction caused by the very entity she carried within her. During the Avengers vs. X-Men event, the power of Phoenix Force was once again demonstrated on a multiversal scale. When Phoenix Force arrived on Earth and was divided among 5 members of the X-Men, including Cyclops, Emma Frost, Namor, Colossus, and Magik, they became the Five. With this power, they rebuilt Earth, eliminating poverty and disease, but at the same time they imposed their will upon all of humanity. When the Avengers rose up in opposition, a brutal war erupted. The 5 easily defeated Earth's most powerful heroes, burned Wakanda to the ground, and even confronted the Celestials, enormous cosmic entities. Phoenix Force, through Cyclops, unleashed energy blasts that tore through the Celestials, proving that its power could surpass even higher-level abstract entities when unleashed in its destructive state. Phoenix Force also confronted other cosmic entities in events such as Phoenix, Ensong, and Phoenix, the Resurrection. In these battles, Phoenix did not merely face heroes, but also had to confront its own nature. It had to face the memories and psychological traumas of its hosts, and sometimes even the resistance of the hosts themselves when they realized the danger of the power they possessed. Phoenix Force fought Shadow King, a dark psychic entity, and easily overwhelmed him with the pure light of the White Hot Room. However, Phoenix Force is not without weaknesses. Its greatest weakness does not lie in its power, but in its dependence on a host and the nature of emotion. When bonded with a host, Phoenix Force is deeply affected by that person's psychology. If the host has an unstable mind, or is consumed by suffering and anger, Phoenix Force can become corrupted into Dark Phoenix, a blinded entity driven solely by destruction. This loss of control makes Phoenix Force vulnerable to manipulation or defeat by enemies who understand how to exploit psychological weaknesses. In addition, the Macron Crystal, the Crystal of the End, is one of the few entities capable of resisting or containing the power of Phoenix. And finally, the White Hot Room. The place where Phoenix was born is also the place where it is judged. Now, let's move on to Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards is not a cosmic entity that was born in the dawn of creation. Instead, he is a mutant, a human being who carries the genes of 2 of the greatest minds on Earth. He is the son of Reed Richards, the smartest man in the universe, and Sue Storm, a woman who possesses protective and invisibility powers. From the moment he was born, Franklin was destined to become an entity whose power would far exceed the limits of Marvel cosmology. He is not merely an Omega-level mutant, but an entity known as the Maker, one who would reshape the multiverse when everything comes to an end. Franklin Richards represents the limitless potential of humanity, proving that a finite being can rise to the threshold of creator gods. Franklin Richards' power lies in his ability to alter reality on an absolute level. Unlike Phoenix Force, which manipulates the energy and matter of the existing universe, Franklin can change the fundamental laws of that universe. He can turn the impossible into the possible, rewrite history, create or erase dimensions, and manipulate time with ease. Franklin does not need to obey the laws of conservation of energy or causality. If he wants a star to disappear, it will disappear, not because it was destroyed, but because Franklin decides that it never existed in the first place. His abilities transcend even the concepts of magic and science. They are the manifestation of pure will imposed upon reality. One of Franklin Richards' greatest feats, and perhaps the clearest demonstration of his power, was his confrontation with Galactus, the devourer of worlds. Galactus is not merely a cosmic entity. He is a necessity of the universe, a being who maintains the balance between eternity and death. Defeating Galactus in physical combat is nearly impossible for anyone, even the Celestials. But Franklin Richards did not defeat Galactus through brute strength. Instead, he used his reality manipulation abilities to alter the nature and purpose of Galactus. In one timeline, Franklin transformed Galactus into his servant, forcing the Devourer of Worlds to serve and protect him. Franklin Richards also possesses the ability to create pocket universes. When faced with threats capable of erasing reality, Franklin has repeatedly created miniature universes of his own to protect those he loved. During the Secret Wars event, when the multiverse collapsed due to incursions, Franklin and his father, Reed Richards, along with Molecule Man, used their powers to gather fragments of different realities and create Battleworld, a planet assembled from countless fragments of different universes. Franklin played the role of a god, maintaining the stability of this new reality, and when everything was over, he and Reed recreated the entire multiverse, bringing everyone back from the void. At this point, Franklin's power was not merely about altering reality, but about creating and maintaining the existence of countless parallel realities. Franklin may have the form of a human being, but his will and awareness have already surpassed the limitations of a child. During his early years, Franklin's powers were often restrained by fear and by his parents' protection. Reed Richards had to create devices to suppress his son's powers because he feared that the fleeting emotions of a child could accidentally erase an entire galaxy. However, as he matured, or when pushed into life and death situations, Franklin proved that he was capable of controlling and shaping his powers with absolute precision. He can read minds, control minds, and create protective force fields capable of withstanding attacks on a multiversal level. Franklin is immune to aging, disease, and most forms of energy attacks because he can simply transform that energy into flowers or harmless light. Franklin Richards' battles against formidable enemies have shown that he is not merely a lucky child, but an entity capable of determining the fate of all things. During the Onslaught event, when this dark psychic entity merged the powers of Professor X and Magneto, Franklin played a crucial role in defeating him. Although he was still young at the time, Franklin's latent power helped create an opening that allowed the heroes to destroy Onslaught, an entity whose power threatened all of reality. In his confrontations with Annihilus, the ruler of the Negative Zone, Franklin did more than simply escape. He also reconstructed the structure of the Negative Zone, transforming the harshest environment in the universe into a habitable place, and forced Annihilus to submit to his will. Franklin Richards often appears as a guardian god. When Earth and the solar system are threatened by entities from beyond the multiverse, Franklin has stepped forward to protect his planet, creating reality shields that even the Celestials could not break. He has confronted enemies such as Rabu Malal, an entity that destroys realities, and through his power, Franklin rewrote the laws of destruction, transforming his enemies into harmless beings. Franklin has also fought alongside adult versions of himself from other timelines, demonstrating that at the peak of his power, he can manipulate time and space to create countless copies of himself, with each copy possessing the full power to alter reality. However, Franklin Richards is not without weaknesses. His greatest weakness lies in his own humanity. Despite possessing the power of a god, Franklin still carries the heart and emotions of a human being. His love for his parents, his sister Valeria, and his friends is his greatest source of motivation, but it is also the chain that binds him. Enemies can use Franklin's loved ones to threaten him, distract him, or cause him to make the wrong decision. The psychological restraints Reed Richards placed on him throughout his childhood also left lasting effects, causing Franklin to sometimes lack confidence in his own powers or fear using them to their full potential. In addition, although Franklin can alter reality, he still needs a physical body to anchor his consciousness within the current universe. If his physical body were completely destroyed on a conceptual level before he had time to react, he could be cast out of reality. Finally, Franklin's power is sometimes limited by his imagination and perception. If he encounters a concept beyond his understanding, he may need time to adapt and rewrite its rules. Now we have two entities representing two absolute peaks of power. When considering their primordial nature and their positions within the abstract hierarchy, Phoenix Force has the theoretical advantage. Phoenix is an integral part of the multiverse, the driving force behind evolution, and the keeper of the flame that sustains the cycle of rebirth. It is on par with eternity and death. When Phoenix Force takes the form of White Phoenix of the Crown, it stands above all entities, judging both life and death. In a direct confrontation of energy, Phoenix Force could unleash psychic flames capable of burning away even the concept of time and attempt to assimilate Franklin into the flow of life and death. Phoenix would try to burn away Franklin's reality, turning him to ashes and reincarnating him as part of the eternal flame. However, when we look deeper into the nature of their powers, Franklin Richards possesses a critical advantage that Phoenix Force cannot overcome. Phoenix Force manipulates energy, matter, and life within reality. It is the one operating the machinery of the universe. But Franklin Richards is the one who can dismantle, rebuild, and redraw the blueprint of that very machine. Franklin's reality-altering power does not follow the laws of physics or cosmology because Franklin is the one who creates those laws. When Phoenix Force attempts to burn Franklin with the flame of life, Franklin can simply change the concept of that flame, turning it into flower petals, or rewrite the law so that Phoenix's flames are no longer capable of burning anything within that reality. Look at Franklin Richards' feats. He once transformed Galactus, an entity necessary for maintaining the balance of the universe, into his servant. Galactus is on par with eternity and death, and Phoenix Force operates within that same hierarchy. If Franklin can impose his will upon Galactus and alter the nature and purpose of a high-level abstract entity, then rewriting the rules governing Phoenix Force is entirely within his capabilities. Franklin does not need to defeat Phoenix Force through raw energy. He only needs to alter reality so that Phoenix Force cannot exist or cannot harm him within that reality. During the Secret Wars event, Franklin proved that he could gather, maintain, and recreate the entire multiverse. He worked alongside Molecule, Man, and Reed Richards to create Battleworld and later restore all of reality. At this level, Franklin's power is not merely about transforming matter, but about manipulating abstract concepts, dimensions, and even cosmic entities. Phoenix Force, despite its immense power, is still a part of the multiverse that Franklin recreated. Franklin possesses the power of a creator, and the creator always holds ultimate authority over the things born from their own blueprint. Franklin Richards also has advantages of his own. Although Phoenix Force embodies infinite emotion, when it bonds with a host, it is influenced by that person's psychology. Franklin may have the form of a human being, but the will of a creator of the multiverse is incredibly steadfast. Once Franklin recognizes the threat posed by Phoenix Force, he will not become corrupted or lose control like other hosts. He will use the intelligence inherited from Reed Richards combined with his absolute power to find a way to isolate, neutralize, or reshape Phoenix Force. Franklin could create a pocket reality and trap Phoenix Force within an endless time loop, or separate Phoenix Force from its host and seal it within a dimension where the concept of burning does not exist. When Phoenix Force needs a host or a physical environment to manifest its destructive and creative power within the current universe, Franklin Richards can erase that environment or transform the host into an entity no longer capable of containing Phoenix. Furthermore, Franklin possesses the ability to manipulate time and space on an absolute level. He can travel back in time to before Phoenix Force bonds with its host, or create a parallel reality where Phoenix Force never existed. Phoenix Force may be able to perceive these changes through its cosmic awareness, but preventing an entity capable of rewriting the past and future at will is nearly impossible, even for an abstract entity. In a direct confrontation, Phoenix Force would be the attacker, unleashing terrifying, destructive power and incinerating everything in its path, but Franklin Richards would be the one defending and counterattacking by changing the very rules of the battle. Phoenix Force is the most powerful flame in the universe, but Franklin Richards is the one who can decide that fire has no ability to burn. Phoenix Force represents life and death, but Franklin Richards is the one who can create a reality where life and death no longer have any meaning. Therefore, in my opinion, Franklin Richards would be the last one standing. Franklin would use his reality-altering powers to strip Phoenix Force of its ability to cause harm, seal it away, or separate it from its host, and return it to a state of rest within the White Hot Room. Franklin Richards, as an Omega-level mutant and the creator of the multiverse, possesses absolute power over reality, allowing him to transcend the limitations of abstract entities and determine the fate of the gods themselves. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much!